All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This Israelite should be fucking happy, actually. So that's what I intend to do. And the question is, do you have one? Have you formed a group? Have you started? Have you thought about if things get really, really bad, really, really terrible, terrible? Ignore all the paganism in the background. If you've ever been to Walmart, you know you can't avoid it, unless you just don't go to Walmart. But if you go to just about any store, you're going to see some of that. So ignore that. But I want to know if you have thought about MAG, a mutual assistance group. You have to really think about that because if everything goes to pot, what are you going to do? Now, a lot of people, they believe in rugged individualism, but of course, the Bible talks about a threefold cord. It's not easily broken. And two is better than one. If one falls, the other can help. And leaders, if you're a leader of a group, have you thought about a MAG? Have you started putting the things together? How do you form one? Obviously, you want to find like-minded individuals. You want to have like-minded individuals. Then you want to join with them. You want to break bread. You want to have a potluck, have lunch, do something. To talk about things, to talk about being prepared. Work together on a project. Pick a project, work together. Put people in position of strength. Like what are some of the things that they can do? You may want to start doing that because the winds of change, they are a blowing. They're blowing. And you want to be prepared. You want to know that when things go awry, there's a group of people that are going to assist you and that you are going to assist them. Provided that this is not, that you're not already living in the community. You got to have a plan. If calamity strikes when you're not expecting it or whatever, do you have an escape plan to escape this calamity? Do you have y'all decided, okay, we're going to go over so-and-so's house because it's the biggest house and we can pare down until we can get to a safer place maybe so you can hunker down. There's a lot of stuff that you got to be thinking about. You got to be prepared. You got to have all these things in mind. You can't just go willy-nilly. And if you're a leader, you can't leave everything to chance. You got to plan for as much as you can. Now, will everything be perfect? Everything run smooth? Of course not. We're talking about a disaster. We're talking about if you wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden the dollar, the fiat currency that's in our bank accounts or in our wallet, doesn't work anymore. What do? It's going to be mass hysteria. Now, a lot of people you make a video like this and they think that, oh, well, just fear mongering. I, I think what happens, okay, I think what happens is people think that, oh, it's just fear, fear, fear. It's really not about that because actually the people who prep, they actually hope that the danger doesn't happen. They actually hope that worse does not come to worse. They actually hope that everything that they prepared for doesn't necessarily happen because if they have to execute on everything that they prepped, that means something really bad has happened. Okay? It's hope for the best, prepare for the worst. At the end of the day, what are you? Self-sustained. You got brethren who can help you, encourage you, walk this walk if nothing happens. But here's the question. What if something does happen? Because a lot of people can say, oh, well, they've been talking about we're in the end, since the first century. Well, okay. If that's true, then aren't we 2,000 years closer to the end? Just want you to think about that for a second. What if something actually does happen? Do you at least have a couple of bug out bags? Do you at least have a spot where you're going to hang out? Do you have a mag? And I'm not talking about a magnum, although you could have one of those, but do you have a mutual assistance group? So much to think about. So much to prepare for, so little time. You really have to consider the things. You're gonna have to talk about, you have to think about things that are uncomfortable to think about. You're gonna have to get into your mutual assistant group, and you guys got to have the hard conversations. You got to see what you're working with. How many people are in this team? Is it 2, 3, 5 families, 10 families? How many men are in there? Do you have roles for everyone? Are you guys putting money together to store up provisions? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? It's just about saving yourself alive and those who you dwell with, the brethren, like-minded individuals. We really need to start thinking about that. To be very, very serious, very serious. In fact, your life could depend on it. What say you, Israelite Prepper?